The last time anyone on Earth built a major canal, the Ottoman Empire still existed. Airplanes had only been invented 11 years earlier. Cars were something rich people owned. That was 1914. The Panama Canal had just opened, and the world stood back and said, "That is the greatest engineering achievement in human history." Then a century passed, and nobody tried again. Not because the need disappeared, not because the money wasn't there, but because the world quietly agreed that the age of great canals was over. Engineers moved on. Countries built highways and railways. The idea of carving a new path through the earth for ships to sail through became the kind of thing people talked about in history books, not boardrooms. For 110 years, that silence held. China broke it. In 2022, they started digging. This year, they finished. Before we talk about what China built, you need to understand why anyone builds a canal in the first place. Because on the surface, it sounds like old technology. We have roads, we have railways, we have planes. Why does a water channel matter in 2026? Here is why. A single cargo ship moving through water can carry what would take hundreds of trucks on a highway. The fuel cost per ton is a fraction of road transport. The emissions are lower. The capacity is enormous. When a region gets direct water access to the ocean, the economics of everything change. Factories become viable that weren't before. Export costs drop. Products reach international markets faster and cheaper. A canal doesn't just move ships, it moves entire economies. That is why the Panama Canal transformed global trade for a century. And that is exactly why what China just did matters more than most people realize. To understand how significant the Pinglu Canal is, you have to understand what the Panama Canal actually cost to build, because that story is why nobody attempted anything like it again for over a century. France tried first. In 1880, Ferdinand de Lesseps, the same engineer who built the Suez Canal, went to Panama with full confidence. He had done it before. He knew what he was doing. 8 years later, the project had killed over 20,000 workers from malaria and yellow fever, burned through all the money, and collapsed completely. France walked away. The United States took over in 1904. It took them 10 more years, 40,000 workers, and hundreds of millions of dollars before the canal opened in 1914. They moved 200 million cubic yards of rock and dirt. Thousands more died. When it was finally done, the world celebrated it as something that would never need to be done again. And for 110 years, they were right. The Suez Canal was already built. The Panama Canal was done. The conclusion the engineering world reached was simple. The great canals exist. We don't need new ones. And building one would cost too much, take too long, and belong to a different era entirely. That assumption just expired. In southern China, there is a region called Guangxi. It sits inland, surrounded by mountains and rivers, rich in resources and manufacturing capacity. The problem is geography. Guangxi had no direct path to the ocean. Every ship carrying goods out of that region had to travel hundreds of kilometers east through neighboring Guangdong province just to reach a port. That detour added time, cost, and friction to every single transaction happening in the region. Every factory operating there paid an invisible tax on every product they shipped. Entire industries that could have thrived in Guangxi never started, because the logistics made them uncompetitive before they even began. Engineers had known for decades that a canal connecting Guangxi directly to the sea would transform the region. The route existed on maps. The need was obvious. What was missing was someone willing to actually do it. In August 2022, China decided to stop waiting. Construction on the Pinglu Canal began in August 2022 with a budget of $10.2 billion and a 4-year timeline. The numbers attached to this project are difficult to absorb all at once. The canal stretches 134 kilometers from end to end. To picture that distance, it is roughly the straight-line distance from Hong Kong to Guangzhou. Along that entire route, crews excavated 315 million cubic meters of earth and rock. That volume is nearly triple what was moved during the construction of the Three Gorges Dam, which was itself the largest dam ever built. To cross the canal at various points along its path, China built 27 bridges. The waterway is designed to carry 5,000-ton vessels, large cargo ships moving goods directly from inland rivers to the open sea. While Western governments were writing environmental impact reports for infrastructure projects that still haven't broken ground, China was already more than 90% done. The canal does not run on flat ground. From its starting point to where it meets the ocean, the elevation drops 65 meters. That is roughly the height of a 20-story building. Ships cannot sail up or down a 20-story drop. So China built what engineers call lock systems, essentially water elevators that lift or lower a vessel from one water level to the next. There are 3 of them along the Pinglu Canal, at points called Madao, Chishi, and Qingnian. The one at Madao is the largest water-saving inland ship lock ever built anywhere in the world. Each lock chamber is 300 meters long and 34 meters wide. When a ship enters, the gates close behind it. Water fills or drains from the chamber until the vessel reaches the right level, then the front gates open and the ship continues. The gates at Madao open in under 1 minute and close in 30 seconds. The system can process 6 fully loaded 5,000-ton vessels every single hour. For context, building a lock system at this scale and this speed of operation has never been done before on an inland waterway. Meanwhile, the United States has been debating upgrades to aging infrastructure on the Mississippi River system for the better part of 2 decades. The canal was originally scheduled to open in December 2026. China announced in February that it would open in September instead, 3 months ahead of schedule. When it opens, ships carrying goods from Nanning, the capital of Guangxi, will reach the ocean without the long eastern detour through Guangdong. The shipping route shortens by 560 kilometers. Every year, that reduction in distance saves an estimated $731 million in transport costs across the region. Factories that were too far from ports to compete internationally suddenly become viable. Industries that previously couldn't afford to operate in Guangxi will relocate there. An entire province's economic potential gets unlocked by one waterway. And this is before accounting for the long-term trade expansion into Southeast Asia, where countries like Vietnam sit just across the Beibu Gulf that the canal now connects to directly. Here is what sits with you when you step back and look at the full picture. The Pinglu Canal is not China's biggest infrastructure headline. It is not the project getting the most attention. It is not the tallest dam or the fastest train or the longest sea crossing. It is simply something that needed to be built. A region needed ocean access. The route existed. So China built it in 4 years for $10.2 billion and is opening it 3 months early. That quiet, consistent ability to identify a problem and execute at a scale nobody else attempts, without drama, without decades of debate, is what separates what China is doing from everyone else right now. The Panama Canal took the most powerful nation on Earth 10 years and thousands of lives. The Pinglu Canal is longer, uses more advanced engineering, and will be finished in 4 years. The gap between what China is building and what the rest of the world is building is not closing. It is getting wider every year.
For 110 years, the world decided the age of great canals was finished. That conclusion wasn't based on physics. It wasn't based on geography. It was based on the assumption that no one would bother, that the need wasn't great enough, that the cost wasn't worth it, that it belonged to history. China looked at 110 years of that silence and simply asked a different question, not whether it was worth attempting, but how fast it could be done. The answer, it turns out, is 4 years. If you made it here, you now understand something about modern infrastructure that most people reading the news will never connect. Hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss what we cover next. Because the stories coming up on this channel are just as hard to believe as everything you just watched. And I want to know what you think in the comments. Is the Pinglu Canal proof that mega infrastructure is making a comeback? Or is this something only China can pull off right now? Drop your answer below. I read every single one.